Ever noticed how avoidant people always pull away the moment you start getting close? One moment they're all in, laughing, sharing, opening up, and the next, they disappear into silence. No explanation, no closure, just distance that feels heavier than rejection. You sit there questioning yourself, replaying every word, every glance, wondering what you did wrong. But what if I told you, it was never about you? What if I told you, there's a way to be the person they never walk away from, not by begging for attention, not by chasing, but by shifting something deeper, something inside you that changes everything about how they feel around you. Because here's the truth. Avoidants don't run from love. They run from the feeling of being consumed by it. To them, closeness feels like losing control. Intimacy feels like danger. They've spent their whole lives learning to stay safe by staying distant. So when you start to get close, it's not that they stop caring, it's that their fear gets louder than their love. But there's something powerful that makes them stay. It's not words, not promises, not effort, it's energy. It's the quiet calm of someone who doesn't chase what leaves, who doesn't need to convince anyone to stay. It's the safety in presence, the peace that whispers, you're free here. The person an avoidant never walks away from isn't the one who clings tighter. It's the one who stands still, grounded, whole, secure. The one who shows them that love can feel like freedom, not a trap. Stay with me. I'll show you how to become that person, the one who no longer gets left behind, because your energy itself becomes the home they've been searching for. Avoidants don't hate love. They fear being seen too closely. They fear what love might uncover, the parts of themselves they've spent years hiding. Every time someone gets near their truth, their body remembers every moment love once felt unsafe. Every time they start to feel seen, something inside them whispers, run. See, to you, closeness feels comforting. It feels like connection, like finally being understood. But to an avoidant, it feels like danger, like standing too close to fire. They crave warmth, yet the moment it touches them, they flinch. It's not because they don't care. It's because they care so much, it terrifies them. Avoidants learned early on that love can turn cold without warning, that safety can disappear in an instant. So they built walls, not to keep you out, but to keep themselves safe inside. They convinced themselves that independence is protection, that distance is peace. But the truth, that distance is loneliness, wrapped in control. When they pull away from you, it's not rejection. It's protection. Their nervous system goes into defense mode, trying to save them from a kind of vulnerability they don't know how to survive. And here's the hardest part. The more you chase, the more unsafe it feels for them, because your pursuit, even if it's loving, feels like pressure. It reminds them of every moment they lost their boundaries just to be loved. But imagine what happens when you stop chasing, when you breathe, when you hold space instead of holding on. Something shifts. For the first time, they don't feel cornered. They feel seen, not as someone broken, but as someone scared. And slowly, the fear starts to quiet, because love doesn't heal an avoidant through words or promises. It heals through safety, through calm energy that says, I see your fear, and I'm not here to control it. It's not about proving you're safe. It's about being safe, the kind of presence that doesn't demand closeness, but invites it. That's the emotional truth. Avoidants don't run from love. They run from the pain they still associate with it. And the moment love starts to feel like peace, not pressure, that's when they stop running. And if you're someone who keeps trying to fix them, to convince them that you're different, stop for a moment, take a breath. Look at what you're really doing. You're trying to earn a love that was never yours to earn. You're trying to rescue someone from fears they haven't chosen to face yet. And in doing that, you've forgotten something. You've started to abandon yourself. This is your mirror moment. The part where you stop pointing outward and start looking inward. Because if you keep chasing the avoidant, trying to show them that you're safe, what you're really saying is, I don't trust that I'm enough unless you see it. And that's not love. That's survival too. Just a different kind. The person avoidants stay with doesn't chase understanding. They embody it. They don't explain their worth. They radiate it. They don't try to heal someone's wounds with closeness. They hold space with calmness. They've learned that safety isn't a performance. It's a presence. You can't pull someone out of their fear by proving you're safe. You show safety by being safe, in your silence, in your patience, in your ability to stay grounded even when they create distance. You show it by staying connected to yourself, not obsessed with them. Ask yourself this: are you loving them, or are you trying to earn your value through them? Because real love, the kind that reaches someone afraid of closeness, doesn't demand, doesn't chase, doesn't beg to be understood. It becomes a steady energy that whispers you're free here, even to leave. When you reach that space inside you, where peace replaces panic, where calm replaces convincing, something shifts. They feel it. You feel it. And in that energy, for the first time, love stops feeling like a battlefield and starts feeling like home. So stop trying to fix them. Let your stillness be the proof. Let your self-respect be the safety. Because the moment you stop trying to make them stay, is the moment they finally have a reason to. You don't make an avoidant stay by proving your worth. You make them stay by showing you'll be okay, even if they leave. Let that sink in, deeply. Because everything changes when you stop trying to be chosen, and start remembering that you already are enough. Most people think love is about convincing someone not to go, about saying the right words, doing the right things, becoming the version of yourself you think they'll stay for. But that energy, that anxious, desperate pull, only reminds an avoidant of what they fear most: losing control. They don't run from you. They run from the invisible pressure of your need to be needed. But when your energy shifts, when you stop trying to hold them and start holding yourself, something powerful happens. The air changes. The tension dissolves. Suddenly your presence feels different. You're no longer chasing. You're choosing peace. You're not trying to be seen. You are seen because your calm becomes louder than your fear. Avoidants stay where they feel safe to breathe. Safety doesn't come from constant reassurance. It comes from emotional independence. From showing them, and yourself, that love can exist without control. That you can care deeply without losing yourself in the caring. The truth is, when you show you'll be okay without them, you become the one thing they can trust. Stability. Because for the first time, they're not responsible for your happiness. And that's what makes your energy magnetic. That's what makes love feel peaceful, not heavy. Love isn't about proving you're worthy of staying. It's about knowing you'll still stand tall if someone walks away. When you reach that level of quiet confidence, that grounded energy that says, "I'll love you but I'll never abandon myself for you," everything shifts. And ironically, that's when avoidants stop running, because they finally see what real safety feels like. It's not someone holding on too tight. It's someone standing strong enough to be free. That's the shift. The moment love turns from fear into freedom. The moment you stop asking, will they stay, and start knowing you'll be okay, either way. Avoidants crave space. It's how they breathe, how they feel safe, how they protect their sense of control. But here's the secret. It's not the space itself that keeps them away. It's how you respond to it. Because when you start respecting that space, not out of fear, not out of manipulation, but out of genuine self-respect, something powerful begins to shift. When they pull back, your old instincts might scream, go after them, fix it, don't let the distance grow. But what if, instead, you did the opposite? What if you let the silence be? What if you stopped chasing and started choosing calm? That's where emotional regulation begins, in the pause between their withdrawal and your reaction. When you regulate your emotions, you stop making their behavior a reflection of your worth. You stop reacting from panic and start responding from peace. You learn to feel the ache of their distance without trying to fill it instantly. That's emotional maturity, sitting with discomfort without turning it into chaos. And that's what changes everything for an avoidant. Because when you hold your own center, you become a mirror, one that reflects safety, not pressure. The moment they sense that your peace doesn't depend on their closeness, their fear softens. They begin to associate connection with calm, instead of threat. Avoidants don't move closer to those who demand closeness. They move closer to those who allow it. They need to feel like their space won't be punished or misunderstood. When you respect their distance with grace, when your energy says, "Take your time, I'm still whole," they feel something rare, emotional safety, and slowly, without words, without effort, they start to lean in again. Not because you convinced them, but because your stability became irresistible. You didn't chase their presence, you invited it. You didn't cling, you created space that felt safe to return to. That's the emotional core of connection. Calm attracts closeness. When you stop trying to manage their space, and instead manage your own emotions, you become the anchor they never knew they needed. Because nothing feels safer to an avoidant than love that doesn't demand to be held. Now that you understand the emotional truth, it's time to bring that awareness into action. Because healing energy isn't just something you talk about, it's something you embody, and that begins with one simple choice. Stay grounded. When the avoidant pulls away, your first instinct might be to text them, to remind them you care, to check if they're okay, to bridge the gap that silence creates. But don't. Not this time. Don't text to get attention. Don't reach out to soothe your own anxiety. Because every message sent from fear carries the vibration of desperation, and they can feel it, even if you never say a word. Instead, breathe. Sit with the discomfort. Let the silence exist without trying to fill it. This isn't about playing games. It's about proving to yourself that you can hold steady when someone else pulls away. That's how emotional strength is built, not in comfort, but in restraint. Don't explain your value. Don't remind them of how much you care. Let your energy speak for you. True confidence isn't loud. It's silent, steady, unbothered. It says, "I know what I bring. I don't need to convince you." And that calm certainty is what disarms their fear. Because the truth is, avoidants aren't drawn to people who chase them. They're drawn to people who remain centered in the storm. Be that calm presence their chaos has never met before. Be the person who doesn't match their withdrawal with panic, but with peace. The one who doesn't argue, doesn't demand, doesn't crumble, just is. That energy is rare. It's magnetic. It's healing. It tells them you can take space and I'll still be whole. And when you hold that frequency long enough, they begin to trust it. They begin to trust you. So the next time the silence feels unbearable, remember this: your stillness is your strength. Your calm is your communication. You don't need to prove your worth. Your peace already does that for you. And that peace, that quiet confidence, is exactly what makes them feel safe enough to finally come closer. Love isn't about pulling someone closer. It's about being so centered in yourself that even their distance can't unbalance your peace. Because real love doesn't live in control. It lives in calm. It's not proven through chasing, convincing, or clinging. It's revealed through stillness, through self-trust, through the quiet, knowing that your worth doesn't change when someone steps away. Most people think love is about holding on tighter, about making sure they never leave. But the truth, the tighter you hold, the more they'll need to escape just to breathe. Real love isn't a cage. It's a current, something that flows freely because it's rooted in trust. When you're centered in yourself, you stop asking, "How can I make them stay?" and start asking, "How can I stay grounded, no matter what they choose?" That shift, that inner anchoring, is the point where attachment transforms into connection. It's where fear turns into freedom. You begin to realize that peace is not found in someone's presence. Peace is found in your ability to remain whole, even in their absence. And from that place of quiet power, something beautiful happens. You stop needing their closeness to feel safe, and ironically, that's when they feel safe enough to come close. Love like that doesn't waver. It doesn't depend on responses, texts, or validation. It's energy that says, I love you freely, but I belong fully to myself. That energy heals. It teaches others that love doesn't have to be loud to be strong. The deepest message is this: when your inner world becomes calm, your outer world begins to mirror it. Avoidants, empaths, partners, they all respond to your energy more than your words. So let your peace be your presence. Let your balance be your language. Because in the end, the person who truly never gets walked away from isn't the one who holds tighter. It's the one whose heart is steady enough to let go and still remain open. That's what real love feels like: still, steady, spiritual and free. When you become the peace they've never known, they won't walk away. Not because you held them tighter, but because your energy made them want to stay. That's the quiet power most people overlook. The kind of love that doesn't chase, it attracts. The kind that doesn't demand, it inspires. The kind that feels like home, not a test. Think about it. Everyone's trying to be louder, more impressive, more worth it. But what if the real magnetism is in stillness, in being that rare person who carries peace like a frequency, steady, calm, unshakable? When your presence stops being something that drains and starts being something that heals, people feel it. They feel safe. They feel seen. They start to breathe differently around you. Avoidants, anxious lovers, even the emotionally unavailable, they all crave the same thing: safety. Not the safety of control, but the safety of being accepted exactly as they are. And when you embody that, when your energy says you're free, and I'm still here, love stops being a battlefield. It becomes balance. That's your transformation. Not becoming someone they can't leave, but someone they never want to lose. Someone whose peace feels like sunlight after years of darkness. Someone whose calm teaches others how to exhale again. So if this touched something inside you, if you felt even a spark of truth, hold on to it, share it. Someone out there needs this reminder just as much as you did, because peace like this spreads, energy like this heals. And when you become the calm in a world addicted to chaos, love doesn't walk away. It finds its way back. Like, comment, and share this if you're ready to become that peace.